years, he said, I'm not sure it's good.
Yeah.
And that was his attitude.
No, that's the thing. They go off of they're so you're not supposed to rely on personal anecdotes, but they do, and so they don't. They're not very with, and also anything. God forbid it's like a new way of new technology, some sort of method that they're not new chemical, new this, new that. Like no, that can't possibly work because I know. I am God. I know all.
Just to give you one example, in Jersey City, for blood pressure control, there's a drug called Reserpine that was popular in the 40s. And I would have guys who had to argue, maybe for this patient you should try a new.
All right, our live stream is up and running. We're going to begin our service in just a second. We're going to start on page 24 of our Sidurims with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malechei Ashari, Malechei El Elyon, Mi Melech Malechei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boechem L'Shalom, Malechei Ashalom, Malechei El Elyon, Mi Melech Malechei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni L'Shalom, Malechei Ashalom, Malechei El Elyon, Mi Melech Malechei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Seichem L'Shalom, Malechei Ashalom, Malechei El Elyon, Mi Melech Malechei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 25, I'd like to ask Pam, will you light the Shabbos candles and lead us in the responsive reading?
Come, let us welcome Shabbat.
May its radiance illuminate our hearts.
Light is the symbol of the divine.
The eternal is my light and my salvation.
Light is the symbol of the divine within us.
The human spirit is the light of the eternal.
Light is the symbol of the divine law.
For the mitzvahs is a lamp and the Torah a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission.
I, the eternal, have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, O eternal our God, who makes our lives holy through divine mitzvot, and who has commanded us to kindle the Shabbat lamp.
Amen.
May the eternal bless us with Shabbat joy.
Amen.
May the eternal bless us with Shabbat peace.
Amen.
May the eternal bless us with Shabbat holiness.
Amen. Shkoyach. We continue with L'chai Dodi on page 27. L'chai Dodi likraka la yenadai 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 b'nei Shabbat Mikabela L'chai Dodi likraka la yenadai 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 b'nei Shabbat Mikabela Shamor b'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmiyanu el hamduchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Lishem od tiferet v'litzila L'chai Dodi likraka la yenadai 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 b'nei Shabbat Mikabela L'chai Dodi likraka la yenadai 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 b'nei Shabbat Mikabela likrat Shabbat lechu b'nelcha Ki mikor abracha Merosh mikedem nesuka Sof ma'asa b'matra te'ila L'chai Dodi likraka la yenadai 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 b'nei Shabbat Mikabela L'chai Dodi likraka la yenadai 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 b'nei Shabbat Mikabela Iori Kiva Aore Kumi Ori Ori, Ori, Shir Daveri, Kavod Adonai, Alai Nigila, Alech, Haidodi, Likrakala, Yadai, Ben Shabbat, Nikavela, Alech, Haidodi, Likrakala, Yadai, Ben Shabbat, Nikavela, then we face the entrance or exit of our building as we welcome in the Shabbos bride. Boi v'shalom, atzeret ba'ala, Gam besimcha u'b'tzolach, toch enune am sigula, boi kala, alech haidoti likrakala, yedadai, b'nei Shabbat, nikalela, alech haidoti likrakala, yedadai, b'nei Shabbat, nikalela. Remain standing as we face the ark and join together for the Hatzi Kaddish. Yitgedal v'yitgedal Shemei Rabba B'yomad Yibrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon u'yoymechon u'chayetecho B'Yisrael Ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yemeru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivorach Me'olam u'lamei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yishba'ar, v'yisharman, v'yitmasei, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei kudusha berechu, leila mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damira mi'alma, v'yameru, amen. Page 30, we join together for the Baruchu. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Page 31. Eternal God, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, not let your glory depart from us. Help us become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Barabim. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who brings on the evening. Page 32, we join together at the bottom of the page. With eternal love, you have loved your people, the house of Israel. Torah and commandments, statutes, and judgments you taught us. Therefore, O Eternal our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will discuss your statutes and rejoice in the words of your Torah and your commandments forever. For they are our lives and they lengthen our days, and we will meditate upon them day and night. May you never remove your love from us forever and ever. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who loves God's people, Israel. Page 33, we join together for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated for the V'ahavta on page 34. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shitecha v'beitecha u'vletecha v'derech u'shakbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'ktatam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'isharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'iten kiddushim le'olechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem yeretz Mitzrayim v'yolachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 35. Eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares.
Let them beat their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation lock up sword against nation, let them study war no more.
You shall not hate another in your heart. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Let the stranger be in your midst, you as the native, for you were once strangers in the land of Egypt.
From the house of bondage we went forth to freedom, so we'll be free to sing with joy.
Page 36. Mi chamocha balim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar my kodesh, norati lo toisei fele, machutecha ruvanecha bokiyam ibnei Moshe, ze'eli anu v'yamru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. ונאמר כי יפרד אדוני את יעקב וגומר חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. Page 37. Cause us, O eternal our God, to lie down in peace and to awaken us each morning to life renewed with strength. Spread over us the holy shelter of your peace. Together.
Help us to order our lives by your counsel and lead us in the paths of righteousness. Be a shield about us, protecting us from hate and war, from pestilence and sorrow.
Curb also within us the inclination to do evil and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Guard our going out and our coming into life with peace from this time forth and forever.
Blessed are you, O Eternal, whose holy shelter of peace is spread over us, over all God's people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Page 38, we join together for Vishamru. Vishamru, B'nai Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot, et HaShabbat, Le'doretan Merit Olam. Vishamru, B'nai Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot, et HaShabbat, Le'doretan Merit Olam. B'nai uben B'nai Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru, B'nai Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot, et HaShabbat, Le'doretan Berit Olam. Ki sheich yamim asa Adonai, Asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat lasot et hashabat le'doretan berit olam uvayom hashvi'i shavat v'inafash Shabbat v'inafash Shabbat v'inafash v'shamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Le'doretan Berit Olam. Page 39, we join together for the Amidah prayer. The standing prayer is on page 39. Adonai Sefetati Tahu Fi Agite Hilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanurah El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imot U'mevik Geulah Lifnei Bnechem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin Baruch atah Adonai Magin Abraham B'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mashiv Ruach Merid HaGeshem Mekalkel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Giburo Umidon Melech Melech B'mit Umechayei Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atah B'Chayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimon Kadosh Kadoshim B'chol Yom Hallelujah Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You daven silently until page 47. After you've completed davening, you may be seated. On page 47, we will join together for Oseh Shalom. join together for Oseh Shalom on page 47. Oseh Shalom Bimramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. V'emeru, Amen. Sorry, keep on. Clearing my throat.
Gotcha.
All right. So, good Shabbos. So, our Torah reading today, it draws on the book of Leviticus. It is introducing us to a series of new laws connected to the festival of Passover. We hear about the proper timing and offerings to the sanctuary during this time of sacredness. And in the rhythm of the festivals of this time of year, we learn about the prohibitions that shape the holiness of the Chag. In the midst of these instructions, we encounter something broader, a list of the Moedim, that is, the appointed times of the Jewish calendar, the sacred moments which were not just holidays, but opportunities to reconnect with God, community, and with ourselves. And in ancient times, these festivals were not only observed in the home or synagogue, they were lived physically and communally through pilgrimage to the Beit HaMikdash during Passover, Shavuot, Sukkot, and there were times during the calendar which we journeyed specifically. They required moments of intention with presence, and yet today, without the Torah, without the temple that is, without the sacrificial time and system, this text can oftentimes feel distant, almost inaccessible. But I would suggest that there is anything but inaccessibility to the text or irrelevance, because while it may not seem like we can still engage in sacrifices at the temple, we are still called to bring something of ourselves. The question is, what do we bring as offerings? Take, for instance, or to example, a small detail of our reading. The Torah teaches us that an animal must be at least 8 days old before it can be offered as a sacrifice. And further, we're instructed not to slaughter its parent or to offer it on the same day. And at first glance, these laws seem technical, ritual observances and details, belonging to a world long gone. But our tradition does something remarkable. It listens deeper. The medieval commentator, Rabbeinu Baya, he hears of these verses and not just saw them as law, but instead as ethics. He understands them as a call towards compassion, a rejection of cruelty, of sensitivity to the vulnerability of life. And in his reading, the Torah is not merely regarding sacrifices, it is about shaping the human heart. And he goes on further, drawing from a moral line between compassion and cruelty, even invoking the spirit of Haman as a symbol of callous destruction. What emerges is a powerful truth, that even within the sacrificial system, the Torah is guiding us towards a system of ethics, of care, and perhaps the offerings were meant to bring us to here today to understand that we live in a world where the exploitation of living beings, animals, ecosystems, or even human beings is widespread, even normalized. It is easy to become numb, and it is easy to look away. But our tradition does not allow that. It asks us to be attentive, to be compassionate, to recognize that holiness is not just found in ritual precision, but in ethical sensitivity. If we cannot bring offerings to the altar, then perhaps our offering is a commitment to kindness, to responsibility, to seeing the world not as something that we can use, but as something that we can honor. And these themes continue to press on through the Haftarah reading that we have of today. So we turn a moment to the upheaval, to the transformation of ancient Israel, empire's rise and fall. The Babylonian Empire challenged the Assyrian Empire, as we read in our Haftarah, and in the wake of the instability, a remarkable spiritual shift and renewal takes place. Under the leadership of King Josiah, The people rediscover the covenant. The temple is purified, a sacred text. What many understand as the core of Deuteronomy is found, and the nation gathers together to reaffirm its relationship with God. At the center of this renewal is once again Pesach. Josiah calls upon the people not just to observe the ritual, but to recommit, to live their lives according to Judaism with attention and with clarity, with heart. And his language echoes the words of the Shema, a call to unity of God fulfilled through which wholly and sincerely is full. And in many ways, it's a call that feels deeply familiar to each and every one of us. There are moments in our lives, moments of disruption, of uncertainty, when we are pushed out of moments of routine and moments when the structure around us that we rely upon fall apart and we are left to ask what really matters. And sometimes in those moments, something unexpected happens. People return, people recommit, people who once said maybe next year suddenly say, why not now? We have seen this in our own time when circumstances have made gathering difficult and even impossible, when new forms of connection have emerged. People who may not have attended a Seder are now showing up, logging in, participating, and rediscovering Jewish life. Not because it is easier, but because it is more accessible, because something within them is stirring. Just as in the days of Josiah, moments of disruption, they can become moments of renewal. And so we're left with one question. What will we do with this moment? Will we act of connection, of rediscovery, or will we fade life and return to the norms of everyday life? Will we endure? Will we carry forward the renewal sense of engagement, of openness to tradition, and the willingness to show up? Our Torah reminds us that holiness is found in time, and our Haftarah reminds us that holiness is found in our recommitment. And in our lives, we are reminded that holiness is found through the choices we make, especially in the moments of change. So, may we take the ethical voice of our tradition seriously. May we cultivate compassion in the world that desperately needs it. May we embrace the opportunity to reconnect with our faith, with our community, and with one another. And may the commitments that we make now endure, so that we can say next year is not just a hope of deferment, but a promise that is fulfilled. May we say next year in Jerusalem, Katie here, so may be God's will. Amen.
Amen.
All right, we're going to turn to the Misha Berak prayer, which may be found in our Siddurim. In just a moment, I'm going to be reciting names from our Misha Berak list. Names are included the following. Today's Misha Berak includes the names Prima Riccio, Asher Ephraim, Kami Zavidik, Evelyn Levy, Courtney Zavidik, Austin Volk, Colson Jones, Michael Glabach, Ira Roth, Perry Trevik, Stephanie Belzer, Alan Frederick, Angela Heller, Joanne Friedman, Rich Bernaldo, Yvette Zamos, Harry Satin, Alan Tannenbaum, Allison Goldblum, Jennifer Poland, John Vigriato, Mirdov Ben Yisrael, Brenna Chana, Nachman Ben Ze'ev Wolf Vilmalka. Are there any additional names for today? Yes.
Dolly and Roger Bloomfield.
Dolly and Roger Bloomfield,
The Hockenberry family.
the Hockenberry family,
Frankie Barr.
and Frankie Barr.
Lori Hanson,
Lori Hanson,
Joyce Pine,
Joyce Pine,
Donna Dunn,
Donna Dunn,
and Christine Burray.
Christine Baray,
Gabriel Levesque,
Gabriel Levesque,
Mike Costello,
Mike Costello,
John Riggs.
John Riggs. Okay. We join together for the Misha Berak prayer. Misha Berak Avoteinu Mekor HaBrecha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berak Imotenu Mekor HaBrecha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We rise for the Elenu on page 49. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol lateit gedula al yotzer Reshit shelo asana kivyei aratzot velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama shelo sam kalkinu kachen v'gor aleinu kichol chamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'moedim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu She'unatei shamayim ve'yosir haaretz u'moshe yikaro b'shamayim mima'am u'shchinatu zo b'gov me'roimim hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu efesu lato Kakatu b'torato v'yadata hayom ve'ushivota el adevecha Ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim mima'al v'al ha'aretz mitachad ein od. Page 50. We therefore hope in you, O eternal our God, soon to behold the splendor of your might. Then will false gods vanish from the earth, and the idols will be utterly cut off to yield the world to the sovereignty of the Almighty. Then will all acclaim you as their God, and forsaking evil turn to you alone. Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge that unto you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, O eternal our God, let them humble themselves to your glorious name, let them give honor. Let all accept the yoke of your dominion, then you rule over them soon and forever. For the dominion is yours, and you rule in glory, as it is written, the eternal will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Page 51, we join together for the mourner's Kaddish. In just a moment, I'll be reciting names from your yahrzeit list, as well as members of our community who have recently passed. After the names have been read aloud, if you are observing a yahrzeit or in the period of Shoshim, please share with us the name of the loved one, so that as one community may pray the elevation of the neshama to Shemayim above. Recently passed from our community are the following names: Marissa Kofsky, Evelyn North, Betty Martin, Lenny Popper, Fred Mushko, Jeffrey Milstein, Phil Garfinkel, Evelyn Sheff, Shoshana Ilana Batavora, Eli Oster, Roy Smith, Faith Sean Small, Elaine Gordon, Ruth Topol, Alan Netterman, Regina Pasternak, Ruth Dowse, John Hockenberry III, Beth Lizarovsky, Frida Mizrahi, Joanna Friedman, Ricky Tripp, Jeff Hodis, Esther Captain, Alan Steinberg. Our yahrzeits for today include the following names: Eugene Kurlan, Henry Appelman, Francis Alfenberg, Celia Sheff, Manuel Steinloff, Seymour Rychek, Reuben Stuhlacher, Anna Jacobs, Stephen Poland, Zan Wilbin, Motul Beshifra, Motul Ben Chaim, Shmuel Ben Chaim, Elia Drobin, Eli Kaufman, Evelyn North, Sam Rothman, Isaac Rychek, Nina Kramer, Rhoda Levy, Louis Bolstein, Deborah Levy, Louis Peck, Sidney Richmond, Daniel Peller, Charlotte Aronson, Jeffrey Stephen Ziegelheim, Francis Stopek, Steve Cutler, Regina Gallowitz. Those are the names for today. Are there any additional names? Yes.
April Dolch.
April Dolch.
Marianne Malka,
Marianne Malka.
Judy Hemmer,
Judy Hemmer.
Nora Montoya,
Nora Montoya.
and Philomena Cotillo.
Philomena Cotillo.
Linda Adams.
Linda Adams.
Mayor Richard Pucci,
Mayor Richard Pucci.
Saul Laurie,
Saul Laurie.
Paul Beller,
Paul Beller.
and just recently, Mark Goldberg.
Mark Goldberg. We join together for the mourner's Kaddish. If it's your custom, please remain standing. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah. Bialma Dibrach, Yirutei, Biamlich, Machlutei, Bechayechon, Bionechon, Ufchayei, Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bizman, Kariv, Vimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mibarach, L'olam L'amei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitroman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitzadar, V'yitzaleh, V'yitzalal, Shemei L'kudishah, V'rechu, Le'ela Mikol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechamata, Damiran, V'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlam Rabbi Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oiseh Shalom V'imru Ma V'yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated. John, may you be so kind as to lead us in our announcements for today. I've even put the paper up here for you.
That's not my fault. Talking with the Rabbi will resume April 15th after the Passover holiday. Thursday, Torah study will resume April 16th after the Passover holiday. Shabbat service is tomorrow morning at 10:45. Next Wednesday, April 8th at 10 a.m., the Passover Yitzchak service online. The link will be sent out Tuesday morning. Next Thursday, April 9th at 7 p.m., the Board of Trustees are meeting. Friday, April 10th, the Shabbat service, we will welcome guest speaker George Rasko, a child survivor of the Holocaust. Sunday, April 19th at 2 p.m. at the Monroe Senior Center is the Yom HaShoah program, Life After the Holocaust. Registration is now open for I'm never going to say this right.
Yom
You will spoon.
That one. Celebration on Friday, April 24th. We will have a streaming for Shabbat, and then you can register to join the Israeli Independence Day Delicious Thoughtful Dinner. Register by April 20th. Sunday, June 28th is our next blood drive. Volunteers are needed. Let Lisa know in the office if you can help. To donate blood, sign up at redcrossblood.org. Sunday, October 11th is the third annual car show. Volunteers are needed now to begin promoting the event. See volunteer flyer in the lobby to learn more. For information about any of these events, come to speak to a board member after services, or call the office. As always, check your weekly emails for a complete schedule.
Thank you. We're going to conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 53. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chezo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'yachad Rei Kivlo Takol Levado Yiloch Nora Behu Haya Behu Obed Behu Yeh Betifara Behu Echad V'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lechachbira Beli Reishi Beli Tachli Below Ha'oz V'hamizra Behu Eli B'chaya Goeli Betzor Chevli V'yesara Behu Nisi Umanosli Menat kosi beyom ekra biyado akid ruhi biyeti shan biyaira biyim ruhi geviyati Adonai li velo ira. Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to join for a Freilichen and Zisten Pesach at the back of our